Hi, I'm Dana, and if you're a regular, I know you've already heard plenty about how I'm definitely moving soon. But it's one of the things that I'm both incredibly excited and absolutely fucking petrified about because I don't honestly have a grasp if I can afford the place that I'm moving into. It's very simply a case of I've realised I can't fucking live with other people. I can't do it. It's not for me. It's not plausible. It's not possible. It turns into genuinely horrific situations where I'm just so confused and scared and anxious and overwhelmed that I cannot function as a person. And to be completely honest with you, if it happened again, I don't think I'd make it out of it. So for a bit of context, in case anyone is new, I lived with my parents until I was 16. They were quite neglectful and abusive and just not the best. So moving in with my older partner at 16, I was like, oh, this feels safe because it feels just like home. And then 8 years after that at 24, I was like, actually, this is financially and emotionally and psychologically abusive and I'm not having a fun time. And since then, I've had 3 housemates. Each situation went to absolute shit in its own specific little way, where each of them have had a completely different set of things that I've apparently done and ways that I live that is completely unacceptable, while also completely ignoring all of the ways that they were making my life in the house like an actual living hell. And at some point I am going to go into more detail on that, but currently my last housemate is still my landlord, so you can see how well that went. And I'll give that I'm sure there's some things that are just me. They are purely personality based and I'm the issue for whatever reason. But there's a bunch of stuff that I think is very much autism based and very much stuff that I can't really do anything about and can't really help. And the only way to accommodate to it, to like have a semi-livable, functional sort of life, is to live on my own and not have a housemate and not be living with somebody else in the same little confined space that I'm stuck in. So first up, I cannot do a social if you haven't booked in with me, to be quite frank. If we're friends, you're messaging me, aren't you? When you're friends with someone, you message each other or phone each other or bump into, like, there's some sort of discussion of we will spend time together at this point. And when I've also only moved in with friends, which I heavily don't recommend. I do think perhaps having like a stranger housemate would. See, my first housemate started out as a stranger and then we became friends and then it went to shit. I don't think I can live with people. But that is what I need. I need someone who is going to be like, hey, can we spend time together doing this at this point? Yeah, I'd love that. That's so fun. I'm coming downstairs to piss before going to bed. Don't fucking talk to me. I'm cutting through the house to go out and do a thing. Don't do the, oh, where are you going? What are you doing? How have you been? I'm on my way out the house. Shut the fuck up and leave me alone. If you want to hang out, tell me when. And I'm also not talking about doing like what my last 2 housemates did, which would be at like 7:15. They'd be like, do you want to hang out at 7:30? No, I don't. And it's one of those things that I don't think is that unreasonable. I told them, like, I can't do random fun interactions around the house because I'm going to come across as being really blunt, because I'm not masking, I'm not putting on my happy smiley face, I'm not putting all this energy into making sure my voice is right and making sure my face is right and making sure my body language makes you comfortable, because that's making me uncomfortable. That's a huge energy drain and I'm not dealing with it in my own fucking house. I don't think it should be unfair for me to be like, you need to like say when you're going to speak to me. You need to let me know, you know, because I don't think that I'm an arsehole around the house. You know, it's one of those things where like if you're walking past me in the kitchen while I'm making a cup, I'm going to be, oh, yeah. I just don't think there needs to be a full conversation following that point, you know? And I also, one of the big things is like, I don't know when the fuck I'm meant to say hiya. I don't think I should need to do it multiple times while going back and forth. I don't understand why, like, that's the thing is like, there's still so many things where I'm like, I don't know if that's actually like something you should do as a housemate to be a decent housemate and to not be an asshole, or if it's the housemates that I had being assholes and putting like huge amounts of like social pressure and strain onto me because I wasn't fulfilling their social needs. Like it's been absolutely horrible living with people and it's absolutely traumatized me, and that's also definitely a massive part of me living alone now. But also the level to which having other people in my space, and even when like I'm quite good at separating the boundary of like, the kitchen isn't my space, you know, like it's connected to my space, it's not my space. I'm quite good at that section of it. But that doesn't change the fact of I need to use the kitchen and bathroom, and if you've just used it and you've cooked something that I don't like, if you've cooked meat, I now can't eat for the next like 12 hours at least because I feel so nauseous. The smell just, there's so many smells that just send me nauseous for the next like however many fucking hours, and I can't eat, I can't really focus on anything, I can't really, like everything, it sends me, it absolutely fucking sends me. I can't deal with being alive while there's a smell that I can't control and that I don't like in my space. I can't tell a housemate like, oh yeah, I know that you do eat meat, but just don't ever cook meat in the house again. I can't do that, you know? And similarly, like, it's not even just meat, there's certain types of like, I don't know what the fuck they are, to be honest with you, because I don't cook them, because I don't like them. But the housemate I had before last would be cooking stuff and they'd have the door closed. Like, that's the thing, is like, this isn't one of the areas where I'm like, were they being an asshole? It's one of those things that you just have to deal with. You have to deal with people's smells and lights and like someone else existing in the same house as you. I get that. You know, I wasn't complaining about it to them, but it affects my quality of life deeply in a way that is not the case for non-autistic people. You know, like, sure, you might not like the smell of every meal that everyone cooks in your kitchen if you're in a shared place, but it's not heavily impacting your ability to eat that day. And similarly, it's things like getting home from an overwhelming situation and needing absolute silence, not being able to deal with like myself as a person being so overwhelmed, being on the absolute verge of a meltdown, and all I can hear is my housemate's fucking music or the show they're watching or them chatting to like whoever they have over. And it's the kind of thing where like, I'm not going to go and tell them to turn it off. I'm not going to tell them off for it. It's probably like, if they're blasting music, I might be like, can you turn that down a bit, please? I'm having a moment. But like, they're probably going about normal daily life things that I also do. It's just that in that moment, it is such a fucking sensory issue for me and I absolutely cannot deal with it. And it's fucking killing me, you know, it's absolutely ending me. You just have to live with it. That's just how it is. That's what it is to live with somebody else. And I very simply can't. Like, I can't. Now, I've never been diagnosed with OCD despite asking multiple doctors about it, because everyone likes to just be like, well, you're autistic. That explains everything ever. But I do also have, like, and maybe it is just autism, I don't know, I'm not a doctor. I get lots of comments telling me it sounds like OCD, but like, I don't know, and nor do you. But I need my things to be in a specific way. There's a specific way things should be put away, there's a specific way things should like just exist in that house. And people moving it fucking kills me. And it's also the type of thing that elicits a reaction that I know isn't necessarily valid for the situation, but is absolutely valid for me as an autistic person, because it's things like, I have a specific type of bag that I use, like a roll of bags that I use specifically for my cat's litter. So every single morning of my of the entire time that I've had housemates, I get up, I scoop my cat's litter into those bags, one of those bags, and I put it out in the outside bin. If you've used those bags, which you fucking shouldn't be anyway, because they're mine, I don't know why everybody I've lived with has just used my things. But if you've used it and then you put it back on the shelf below, I can't see them. I don't know where they are. And it's going to be a whole thing where I'm like, oh, sorry, you've used my bags. Do you know where they are? And my housemate's going to open the cupboard and be like, they're right there. I put them back. They're on the wrong shelf. You didn't put them back where they're supposed to be, so I didn't know where they are. And it's not me that's the fucking idiot for this, it's you, because why didn't you put them back on the right shelf where there's the little space where they fucking go, instead of like shoving them on top of the fabric softener or some shit? Put it back where it fucking goes. And that goes for my plates, my bowls, my fucking cutlery, the way that I organise my food. I know it might not look that organised. I know where it all is because I put it there. And when I use it, I put it back there afterwards. Nobody fucking does it right. And they'll be like, oh, but it is back where it goes. And it's not where it fucking goes. And they're going to be like, you're being so specific and you're being this and you're being that. But you didn't put it back where it goes. You know, and that applies to like shared house things as well. Like, no, I haven't mopped because I don't know where the fuck you left the mop. Oh, it's over here where like you thought a mop should go and not in the place that we have kept the mop for the last 4 fucking months. Like, things like that. Like, I will have looked for it. I'm trying to use my eyes. I'm trying to find the thing. I can't find it because it's not where it's meant to be. Big shock, I ran out of storage. Sorry if it looks different, which it does a bit, but we're living with it, we're moving. So my next big thing was going to be the fact that everybody I've lived with has told me that I'm a dirty, filthy person that can't keep anything clean and doesn't tidy up or clean up after myself and never keeps any of my stuff clean and everything's just filthy and disgusting. And it's one of those things where like, they've been pretty right. The houses that I've lived in have been pretty fucking rank. They haven't been hoovered often enough, they haven't been mopped often enough, surfaces haven't been wiped down often enough, the bathrooms especially have not been cleaned enough, because it reaches a point where I realised I was the only person fucking doing it, so I stopped doing it. I'm not cleaning your pubes out of my fucking bath. I'm not. Like, no. There reaches a point where I've done that 5 times in a row, and in those, like, fucking, like, let's face it, like, 10 weeks plus, because I'm not doing it that regularly, because somebody else lives there and should also be cleaning and tidying up after themselves. And it reaches that point where, like, I'm just not doing it anymore, you know? And also, like, it reaches that point because I can't keep up with it. Like, I've tried and tried and tried to maintain a clean and tidy and nice home, and it's literally only since my last housemate moved out that for the first time in my life, at any given moment, my house is livable to a point that, like, I don't feel shame or embarrassed over, you know? Like, it's not perfect. I need to sort the toothpaste in my bathroom sink, and I also need to give my oven top a wipe. It's not flawless, it's not perfect, it's not the cleanest. It doesn't take me hours and hours and hours and hours to sort out. I'm not having to block off an entire day because it's just so fucking disgusting that it has to be done. Like, it just does not get anywhere near the point that it has in any other place that I've lived when I've lived with people, you know? Like, it turns out I'm not the dirty, lazy fucker that couldn't be asked to clean up after myself. You know, like, that's just not the case. That's not true. I actually managed to keep a reasonably clean and tidy home, one that I'm very comfortable in, one that isn't dirty, one that other people come into and tell me is nice. They're like, oh, this is a nice place, you keep it well. And it's often in a way that's quite fucking annoying because I'm like begging for support and they're like, but you can keep your house so nice. And I'm like, oh, it takes all of my fucking energy, thank you. But for the first time in my entire life, I'm actually managing it. And it's still taking a lot of energy, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's something I'm actually, for the first time in my life, getting better at and improving at, because I'm not constantly having to accommodate to the mess and the bollocks that someone else is doing and not fucking cleaning up. Just cleaning up my own shit is actually fairly fucking easy, and it's delightful and it's lovely. And that's part of the way where, like, as an autistic person, that's both fucking magical, and it also makes my, like, just day-to-day existing and surviving and living so much more comfortable and less anxiety inducing, you know? Like, this one's a bit more specific, but I have a cat. I have a lovely cat. Most of you will have seen Otis at one point or another. He's my best friend, he's my baby, he's my sweet cheese, he's my homeboy, he's my soldier. I adore him, he's my everything. He's my little cat and he's my baby. And I've had to get a house. I'm moving into a full fucking house because no fucking flats will accept a pet. None of them. I must have phoned every fucking flat in West Yorkshire, and every single one of them was like, oh, it's not the landlord's decision, it's like the overall, like, building lease just doesn't accept pets. And it's not fair and it's not right, and it really pissed me off, and it still pisses me off because I'm going into a place that I'm not entirely sure that I can afford because I cannot live without my fucking cat. I've had him for 5 years. He was born from a stray that we took in, and then he got really, really fucking ill, and I had 6 weeks of having to feed him, hand feed him milk every 2 hours, even through the night. He is my child. I had a newborn phase with him, like, and don't get me wrong, I don't think you need to have, like, horrible starts to your animals' lives in order to bond with them like that, but I think that it's quite a common thing for a lot of autistic people that we have our pet, and it's our fucking life, it's our baby, it's our everything, you know? And I think people in general deserve to be able to have fucking pets, to be honest with you. But it's one of those things where, I'm sorry, my cat's perfect, he is. Like, it's just fact. Everyone that's ever met him has said so. And my last 2 housemates have both also had cats. And it's been the situations where my cat is, like, rolling on his back and he's looking around the room and he's being so non-threatening and so lovely and so kind, and the other person's cat is hissing and chasing him and swatting at him, and it's a whole fucking issue, and they just don't bother to fucking look into anything. Like, my last housemate was very like, oh, well, you know how to do this, so I'll let you lead. And I'd be like, okay, so you need to keep a hold of her so that Otis can come and investigate without her moving or doing anything, so that he can see that he's not, like, at risk, and she can see that nothing happens when he comes close. And they would just let her fucking go. They would just let go of the cat and literally not do what I said at all, while also being like, I'll just do what you tell me. And it's been that repeatedly, and I have felt like a horrible, horrible fucking cat owner, because I've had Otis in his own home being attacked by another fucking cat, sometimes daily, for weeks at a time, until being like, this isn't working, you need to do something, fuck off, you know? And then that's me being a little bitch, because I don't think it's fair that my cat should be consistently attacked by someone else's cat while they do nothing to research how to stop this from happening or how to introduce cats to each other or fucking anything. And also, if you played with your cat and cared for them properly, it probably wouldn't be such a little bitch. Like, your cat is uncomfortable. That is why it is so stressed all the time, because you're not caring for it properly. I need my pet. And I don't think living with people works when having a pet. For me, I haven't had it work yet. I would have loved for it to, and it just hasn't. It just doesn't. And my life wouldn't be worth living without my cat. I wouldn't be getting out of bed in the morning if I didn't need to scoop his litter and feed his breakfast, you know? Like, I would not bother. And my final little way that's an accommodation is that I can't cater my fucking routine to other people's. So when I move in with a new housemate, I already shift my routine so that it works better around theirs as far as I can. Most other people don't have a solid routine that is the exact same every single day. So they just interrupt my routine all willy-nilly and they're like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, you're ruining my fucking life. Like, you are genuinely ruining my life. I'm sorry, but you are, because I can't function as a person while having my routine just constantly be disrupted and not being able to carry out my routine. Like, not the last housemate, but the last two before that, I cook every single day. I have for fucking a decade probably at this point. I start cooking, fingers crossed, when I can, between 7:30 and 8:30. That is my kitchen spot. Give me that hour and I will be done. My food will be ready between those times and I'll have fucked off upstairs or back to my bedroom or wherever the fuck I am. Like, that is when I make my food. That is when I eat my food. That is my little slot. That's my routine. It has been since 2013 when my fucking ex-partner got his job, and that was when he got home from work. Like, that's my routine and it has been for an extremely long time. So tell me fucking why I'm going into my kitchen at 7:30 to cook my dinner like I have every single day for the last like 12 years to find some fuck there cooking their dinner and be like, sorry Dana, you're just going to have to wait, hee hee. No, I'm fucking not. And like, I have, because what the fuck else am I meant to do? I don't think that's fair. I don't think I should have to like deal with that. I think it should be in a comment. Like, it's 1 fucking hour. I eat 1 meal a day. 1 meal a day I fucking eat. That's the 1 hour that I just don't want you to be in the fucking kitchen. Why can no one do that? Why is that impossible for people? Why is that me asking too much? And I understand that to the average person, you wait. You go back to whatever you were doing and you wait and you go and do it later. No, because I have my fucking routine. So I have the thing that I will be doing later, which means that I'm now just not cooking. I know it's not your fault, but it is. It is your fault. You've made life much more difficult for an autistic person. You've destroyed my routine. I'm not eating now today. Fuck you. And I'll give that I think I would have been a lot more forgiving and a lot like nicer about people in this video if I didn't think that a good amount of it was on purpose and that there was a level to which they didn't enjoy my behaviour. They didn't enjoy that I wasn't constantly their best friend in the house and always doing what they wanted. So they'd be like, well, Dana didn't say hi when they came down to piss earlier and I think they should have, so now I'm going to do this thing to get back at them for doing that. And it's like, but I didn't intend a single fucking thing by it. I just didn't realise that I needed to shout hello and wave to you across the room to make sure that your fucking ego hadn't been damaged when all I wanted to do was come downstairs, piss and go back up because I'm in the middle of doing something. Ugh! Like, it's just, I don't feel like it's possible for me to live with people. Those are the reasons why. I do think it's stuff that, like, no, wouldn't be fair from, like, the average neurotypical, completely fine, no issues going on person, but I do think they're fair for me as an autistic person. To add at the end here, because I'm about to be finished editing, I don't feel like I did say it. I also, for the vast majority of this stuff, did not put it onto my housemates. You know, like, I wasn't asking them not to cook. With my first housemate who did eat meat, and my third housemate that ate, with the housemates I had that ate meat, I was like, can you let me know so that I can close my bedroom door and light a candle? And they couldn't even do that. You know, like, I have tried really hard to accommodate to the situations that I've been in, and it just feels extremely impossible when the other person is not willing to give whatsoever, and it's just like, well, you should be more normal, you should do this, you should do that, I'm not doing this and that. And it's like, but I am compromising and catering my routine and my life to try and make it a livable situation between the two of us, and you're just not. Like, okay. So I've tried really hard not to put those things that I do consider to be like my autism issues onto housemates. but it still makes it really fucking hard to live with them, and I don't want to, and it's why I think I need to live alone. So that's that. I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to hear what sort of accommodations you think you need. I'd love to hear why you live alone or why you don't live alone or whatever else. And I will also say at the end here, if I could actually fucking live with someone that supported me, I think I would have a better quality of life, and it would be better than living alone. But I haven't found that. They've been assholes, so I'm doing it on my own, and I think I'm going to be a lot happier. End of the video. You can find me, you can like and subscribe here if you want to. You can also find me on TikTok or Instagram, and you can also find me on Ko-fi or Patreon. All of that will be linked in the little drop down box thing below. People often are like, oh, it's not there, Dana, and then I check and it literally is. It's linked down there, I promise you. So whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.